Welcome to My UP Mornings and happy Labor Day. I'm Rebecca Bartlemay.
And good morning. I'm meteorologist Tom Kippen in for Air Stasek. It's great to have you with us.
Yes, and it was a beautiful weekend and we'll have a beautiful Labor Day.
Yes, it is going to be a beautiful Labor Day. Outside chance of a rain shower, but if you're headed to the beach, it's not going to be a bad beach day if you want to get the last bit of summer in if you want to go out to the beach, go for a swim. All in all, not too bad of a day. Maybe this continues as we head into the later part of fall, Becca, but it's not going to be a beach day by any means on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we're going to have the fall-like weather coming on in, and we're not going to have beach days later on in the week.
Rats. Well, what's the radar looking like?
Well, the radar is looking dry here as we go across the UP. And as we take a look at my UP weather radar, you can see dry conditions at the Mackinac Bridge this morning for the walk. And as we look at temperatures, you can see temperatures are in the 50s and 60s generally. You can see 62 for Marquette at the Coast Guard, 54 for Marquette, Soria, Gwinn, and 52 for Escanaba, 53 for Manistee, 57 for Newberry, and we got 60s in the Keweenaw Peninsula. So we got 50s and 60s this morning, and then as we head into your afternoon hours today, temperatures will be in the 70s to around 80. Any ongoing rain showers and thunderstorms come to an end tonight with mainly clear skies. The lows most locations in the 50s, and northern lights will be possible. We're at 6:01 Eastern, 5:01 Central Time, and for a look at some news headlines, let's send it over to Becca.
An annual Labor Day tradition continues this morning across the Mighty Mac. Here is a look now at the Mackinac Bridge, where soon thousands will participate in the 2025 annual Bridge Walk. The walk begins in less than an hour at 7 a.m. If you do plan on traveling across the bridge this morning, keep in mind that it will be closed from 6:30 a.m. until noon. Labor Day festivities will be held in Negaunee today. There will be a parade at 11 a.m. going through the downtown area. After the parade, a picnic and rally will be held from noon to 4 p.m. at the Jim Thomas Pavilion and Jackson Mine Park. This year's theme is It's Better in a Union. Governor Gretchen Whitmer called a special election last week that has been vacant for nearly 9 months, setting up a contest that could let Republicans hobble Whitmer's agenda in the Democrats' final year in office. The 35th Senate District has been unrepresented in the legislature all year after its former lawmaker, Democrat Kristen McDonald-Rivet, was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in November. Democrats now hold a slim 19-18 majority in the chamber, and a GOP victory could give Republicans the ability to block Democratic policies in Whitmer's last month as governor, since she is term limited and cannot run again. Whitmer has largely dodged an explanation for why she hasn't set the dates for an election, but for now the primary is set for February 3rd of 2026, and the general election will be held May 5th, according to the governor's office. That means the district will be without representation in the Senate for nearly a year and a half by the time it's filled. The Catholic school shooting in Minnesota last week, leaving 2 children dead and others injured, is being felt around the world. In Rome yesterday, Pope Leo praying for the victims of Minneapolis and pleading for an end to what he called a pandemic of gun violence.
Include in our prayers the countless children killed and injured every day around the world. Let us plead God to stop the pandemic of arms, large and small, which infects our world.
The suspect died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities have not yet identified a clear motive for the shooting. Road work will begin on a project in the eastern UP next week. Michigan Department of Transportation is spending about $550,000 to restore concrete pavement on I-75 from the Mackinac Bridge Plaza to US 2 in St. Ignace. Work includes concrete repairs in each direction of I-75, including associated ramps. Motorists should expect lane closures with traffic shifts. An 11-foot width restriction will be in place during the project. The project begins next Monday, September 8th, and is expected to be completed in early October. A new way to experience the Portage Canal has come to the Copper Country. Keweenaw Boat Tours is now offering a 2.5-hour boat cruise with dinner, while the owner, Jason Swain, will entertain and educate visitors on the Keweenaw Peninsula. He says the idea of adding a dinner cruise to the community was the big goal all along.
Talking to local people, talking to people I know, talking to people I don't know, everybody thought something like this would be a great idea. So I worked towards it, had my eye out for just the right boat for the Keweenaw on this waterway, and I found it last year. And after a long story and a lot of traveling to the deep south and back, here it is.
Swain discovered the Sweet Afton in Alabama, where it was cruising along the Tennessee River. He collaborated with a yacht transporter to prepare the boat for travel and work throughout the season to get it ready. Swain also plans to introduce fall color dinner cruises. Those interested in learning more about the Portage Dinner Cruise can find additional information online at KeweenawBoatTours.com. In other news, partying with a purpose. That's what the goal was yesterday at Ore Dog Brewing Company. The Mariucci Family Beacon House held their annual reverse draw raffle. The lucky winner was the last name drawn, who won $5,000 cash. There was also another chance to win $1,000 if you were a loser the first time around, as well as an e-bike auction, food and drinks. Proceeds from the event go back to Beacon House's Fresh Food Fund, which helps feed families while they are staying at the Beacon House in times of medical crisis. Beacon House says the purchase of one ticket helps pay for 1 week of meals for a guest. We are coming back in 3 minutes with a check on the forecast to help you plan your day. And later this morning, highlights you may have missed from the big opening week of the high school football season in sports with Tor Thorne. The time is 6:06 and we'll be right back.
You're watching My UP Mornings with Rebecca Bartlemy.
And welcome back to My UP Mornings. I'm meteorologist Tim Kippen in for Airtastic this morning. And as we look at what to know, it is going to be a warm Labor Day holiday. The warm but albeit pleasant temperatures are going to continue today. Most of us get through the day with sunshine, but a couple of rain showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms could pop on up this afternoon. Don't count on it to water your lawn or ruin any outdoor plans that you may have. As we get into this evening at sunset, which is right around 8:30 Eastern this evening, any ongoing rain showers will come to an end and we will clear things out and the northern lights will be possible tonight. And then as we get into your Tuesday, it's going to be another warm one, but we're out ahead of a cold front on Tuesday. And behind that cold front, it's jacket weather on Wednesday as we're looking at fall weather starting Wednesday and continuing for pretty much the rest of the week. My UP weather radar is dry. We're dry at Mackinac City and St. Ignace. The bridge should be closing right now, getting ready for the Mackinac Bridge walk between St. Ignace and Mackinac City or vice versa. So just hope everyone has a good time down there. The weather, no issues at all for the Mackinac Bridge walk. The Ghani Labor Day parade, no issues there as well. Temperatures across the UP early this morning. Most of us are in the 50s, even across the interior west. We got 48 degrees for Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin. There's your 52 for Escanaba, 53 for Manistee, 60 for Munising, and a little bit milder in the Copper Country this morning. We got 61 degrees for Houghton and 65 for Copper Harbor. Marquette, 54, a little bit milder near the Lake Superior shoreline this morning. As we look at our temperatures this morning, 50s and 60s, lunchtime 60s and 70s. Most of us today end up in the 70s to around 80, and then we'll fall back into the 50s as we head into tonight. So 5 o'clock this afternoon, there's our in-house computer model painting the picture of some here and there rain showers and thunderstorms. We'll watch what happens as we go into sunset. They're gone. We're dry. This would be awesome for the northern lights as we go into tonight. Really no issues with clouds. And then as we head into your Tuesday, most of us will make it through the entire day Tuesday dry with even some sunshine. But here comes your cold front coming in Tuesday night on into Wednesday, bringing some rain showers. And behind this cold front, we got the clouds. Rain showers on Wednesday, along with the cooler temperatures as well. So Marquette's next 7 days look like this. We'll go 77 degrees for your Monday today, 76 Tuesday, and then look at that, 57. That's it for Wednesday. Struggling to get to 50 for Thursday, and then we got 53 for Friday. That's it for Escanaba and Gladstone. 70s today and Tuesday, 62 on Wednesday with clouds, rain showers, and then 50s. That's it for daytime highs Thursday and Friday. Iron Mountain and Kingsford, 80 for your Monday, 78 for your Tuesday, 58 for Wednesday, and then mid-50s for Thursday and Friday. Houghton and the Keweenaw Peninsula trying to get to 80 today, 76 for your Tuesday, 55 for Wednesday, and then lower 50s. That's it for your Thursday. Becca, back over to you.
Coming off a great finish in the Marquette Half Marathon this weekend, Derek Lindstrom joins us in the studio to talk about the next big run in the UP, and that is Run Iron Mountain. How are you doing today, Derek?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm doing good. You recovered from this weekend?
I did. I'm a little sore getting up out of chairs, but I'm okay.
Excellent, yes. And so today we're talking about Run Iron Mountain,
Yes.
and that's happening September 20th around Dickinson County. Can you tell us a little bit about what this race is?
It's a half marathon relay. We also offer a 10K, a 5K, and a 1 mile fun run this year. It's a great fundraiser for a couple of local charities. This year we're up over $25,000 raised. Nearly $200,000 raised over the last 13 years with the race, so it's wonderful, and it's a great organization.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I haven't had much experience running in the Dickinson County area. Can you tell me a little bit about what people will experience while they're on their run?
It's a beautiful course. I mean, it's a beautiful area, and we put on a couple other runs in that area, and it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous course. You start and finish right downtown, right at the farmers market, which is really nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful downhill finish as you come into town and stuff. So it's really nice.
Yeah, and so I mean, 13 years putting this on, it's been a success, I'm guessing, year after year.
It is. Yep, it is, and we're on record pace again this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We ordered good weather.
Yes.
So like we did on Saturday.
Yeah,
so.
of course.
Unlike Tom's forecast for Wednesday, a little better.
Right. Yes. And I mean, a cool thing too about having the run in Dickinson counties now that Queen City has come down to the Iron Mountain area to serve that area. So that's
Correct.
correct.
And we'll do our packet pickup on Friday night at Queen City.
Okay.
So yeah, so they've a big part of the running community down there. So
Yes, and so for people who want to register, how can they? Are there deadlines or anything like that, or is it kind of up until race day?
yep, you can register up until night of, and it's runironmountain.net.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's a wonderful website, but easy to navigate, and yeah, the beautiful course and just a wonderful running community.
Yeah, anything else you think people should know, or why they should sign up for any of the races that day?
Great shirts, finisher medals for half marathon, marathon relay, and 10K finishers, and it's great organization. It's a great charity run. So
Yes, yeah, let's take a look at those details so you can jot them down. It is Saturday, September 20th. Whether you're an experienced pro and could do the half marathon, or maybe you're new to it and you want to do the 5K or the 1 mile. So there is many options available, and you could go to runironmountain.net for all the details on how to sign up and all that stuff. So Derek, thank you so much for joining
thank you,
us
I
this
appreciate
morning.
it. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too, and stay with us. We'll be right back with more My UP Mornings after the break.
And welcome back to my UP Mornings. I'm meteorologist Tim Kippen in for Airtastic this morning. We're coming up on 6:20 Eastern, 5:20 Central Time. The beautiful weather we've had all Labor Day weekend is going to continue today. We're looking at warm afternoon temperatures. Most of us make it through the day dry with sunshine, but a couple of rain showers and maybe even a thunderstorm could pop up this afternoon. Those are done at sunset this evening, and that sets the stage for potentially the northern lights tonight with clear skies. Not going to be dealing with much in the way of clouds. So if the northern lights do happen, we won't have to be dealing with much cloud cover. All right. Tuesday, another warm one, and then Tuesday night a cold front comes on through, and that's going to bring in fall-like weather starting on Wednesday. So as we look at my UP weather radar, we are dry, no radar echoes out there. This morning, you see all this green here on the map around Marquette, Sawyer, Gwinn. That's just ground clutter, and this is nothing reaching the ground here, but you can see 54 Marquette, Sawyer, Gwinn, 52 for Escanaba this morning, 54 Manistee, 57 Newberry, 60 degrees for Munising, and we got temperatures in the 60s this morning for the Copper Country. Look at Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin there, right there on the Michigan-Wisconsin border, 48 degrees. So we'll have 50s and 60s this morning, turning into temperatures that will be in the 60s and 70s by lunchtime, 70s and 80s, or 70s to around 80 for this afternoon, and then back into the 50s as we head into tonight. So there's our in-house computer model painting the picture that, yeah, we could have some pop-up rain showers and thunderstorms. I think our better chances for pop-up rain showers and thunderstorms will be across the central and across inland areas of the western UP, and then those fade away after sunset. Tomorrow we are dry. We will be out ahead of a cold front though, and here comes this cold front as we head into 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That may bring some rain showers and maybe a rumble of thunder across the far western UP and Keweenaw Peninsula. The rest of us get in on the rain as we head into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, and then Wednesday cloudy, much cooler, along with some rain showers. For Marquette, we got 67 for your Monday Labor Day holiday, 76 for Tuesday, 50s starting Wednesday through Friday and Saturday. For Escanaba and Gladstone, 76 for your Monday, 75 Tuesday, 62 on Wednesday, and then 50s for Thursday and Friday. For Iron Mountain and Kingsford, we do have 80 degrees for your Monday, close to 80 tomorrow for Tuesday, 58 Wednesday, 54 on Thursday, and then 55 on Friday. Houghton in the Keweenaw Peninsula, 78 today, 76 as we get into your Tuesday, and then 50s for Wednesday right through Thursday, Friday, and perhaps even Saturday. Now for a look at your sports headlines, let's turn it over to Tor.
A yearly tradition to kick off the high school football season, cross-state rivals Menominee and Marinette met on Friday evening. Let's head to Marinette for the annual M&M game between the Marines and Maroons. Menominee looking for their 6th straight win in the rivalry. And we'll pick up with the Maroons on their first drive, 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line. The ball going to be handed off to Clayton Miller, and Miller is going to set the tone with this run here, carrying Marine defenders who cannot bring him down. That's a 32-yard gain and a nice start for Menominee. Then a few plays later, Menominee going back to their workhorse, Miller going to power his way in from a few yards out. Menominee takes the early 6-0 lead. The Maroons not stopping there, going for the 2-point conversion. Tanner Terekoff back to pass, and he'll throw a dart to Nathan Komp, who hauls it in. That makes it 8-0 Menominee. Maroons now on defense. Marinette facing a 3rd and 4. Jackson Mizak comes off the edge and is able to sack the quarterback. The Marines drive stalls out there after the big defensive play, and they would have to punt. A bit later, Terekoff here going to unload one, looking deep, looking for Dawson Bardowski. He hauls it in for a huge gain. The Maroons back in business offensively and deep in Marine territory. A few plays later, Menominee going to hand it back off to Miller, and he would not be denied as Menominee takes down their rival Marinette once again comfortably in this one, 49-13. And happening downstate, Sault Ste. Marie falls on the road to the Sheboygan Chiefs, 19-7 the final. And the Gladstone Braves down in Cadillac taking on the Durand Railroaders. The Braves come up just short in an overtime heartbreaker, 28-22. Over now to 8-player football, the Ishpeming Hematites welcoming in the Ontonagon Gladiators. Both teams opening game this season. Ishpeming a playoff team a year ago. Ontonagon looking to take the next step after going 4-5. Ontonagon scored on their opening possession. We pick up with the score 6-0. Grady Gauthier follows his blocker to the sideline, weaves between a couple would-be tacklers and threads the needle to the end zone. Hematites convert the 2 the 2-point attempt to go up 8-6, but the Gladiators coming back the other way. The snap goes over Braden Buzzo's head. He collects it, scrambling and looking for a man, and finds Jack Nelson. Nelson picking up the big gain, and that would set up Ontonagon in scoring position just before halftime. And they're going to go back to Buzzo again from the pocket, slings it here into a crowded middle of the field, but connects again with Nelson, and he turns on the Jets for the score just before half. 14-8 Gladiators at the intermission. On to the third quarter now. Same score, Ishpeming driving at the 5-yard line on 4th and goal. Gauthier takes the snap and runs right, but he's going to come up short. Ryan Holmstrom with the big tackle for the Gladiators. It remains 14-8. In the fourth quarter, Gladiators then looking to finish it off. Brady Babula in the shotgun, fighting off the shoestring tackle there, and gets in for the score. The Gladiators go on the road and win this one 21-14, the final. Elsewhere in 8-player football on Friday, Gogebic takes down Carnegie 78-0. The Green Bay Packers pulled off a big-time trade Thursday, unexpected until it happened through much of the football world. They traded defensive tackle Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks to the Dallas Cowboys for pass rusher Micah Parsons. Parsons arrived in Green Bay on Friday. He hasn't practiced this training camp, sitting out amid his contract dispute with the Cowboys, and answered questions about his availability for the beginning of the season. Despite the contract issues, Parsons says he never expected to be traded until it happened, but is now ready to get to work.
Honestly, everything happens for a reason. It's a blessing in disguise. You know, I may not have that answer for you yet, but I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna work hard every day to prove that the Packers organization made the right decision and trusted in me. My plan is to be here. You know, they didn't give up what they gave up for me to sit on the sidelines and make this big of a risk and change for me to do that. So I'm finna give my all.
There was a lot of conversation about whether this was the right thing to do as far as giving up those picks, only because we covet them so much. But again, there's just not very many opportunities to acquire a player like this. He's just getting through the physical right now, and we'll have a chance to get him out there Monday and see where he's at. Certainly, I think we're hopeful that he'll help us in some form or fashion in the opener. But I do think it's on us to be smart and make sure that he's ready to go.
And Green Bay will be sure to put him to work quickly. They face Detroit on week 1 and a matchup against Dallas coming up in week 4. That's a look at sports. We'll be back with more tonight on My UP News at 6.
Welcome back to My UP Mornings. The time is 6:30. Thank you for spending part of your Labor Day Monday with us.
And good to see you again.
Good to see you too. It's been a bit, but we are reunited.
Yes, definitely reunited, and it feels so good. Only going to do a little bit of that song because I don't want to copyright infringement.
Of course.
But it's been a gorgeous Labor Day weekend, and usually here in Uper, 3-day weekend. Oh, hi phone. Good morning. That's my 6:30 alarm clock.
Yeah.
But usually, like I was saying, in Uper, we usually get 3-day holiday weekend. One of the days we get rain, and this weekend it was just amazing how nice the weather was here across the UP, and it's going to continue today. Let's take a look at my UP weather radar. Becca, Mackinac City, you can see dry. St. Ignace is dry, so that's good for the Mackinac Bridge walk. Temperatures are on the chillier side as you go into the interior west this morning, where we do have 48 degrees. Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, right there on the Michigan-Wisconsin border. Elsewhere, temperatures in the 50s. 60, though, for Munising, 61 Houghton, and 65 for Copper Harbor. We will have temperatures this morning that will be in the 50s and 60s. And then this afternoon, 70s to around 80, but a rain shower or thunderstorm may pop up. Don't count on it to wash out any of your outdoor plans or water your lawn. Tonight we're back into the 50s with mainly clear skies, and the northern lights will be possible. That's a look at your weather coming up on 6:32 Eastern. And now for a look at your headlines, let's send it over to Becca.
Statewide, legislators will have less than a month to agree on a state budget as the House and Senate appear to play hardball. We're hearing from organizations that fear they are falling through the cracks. Among them is the Upper Peninsula Arts and Culture Alliance, founded to help fund projects and festivals throughout the region. Their executive director, who spoke with us from Mackinac Island with a spotty internet connection, says all funding for the state's art budget was cut.
I think the reality is that the arts budget is such a tiny fraction. I mean, it's a fraction of 1% of the budget, that it was considered expendable, and that it was one of many very small programs that were just eliminated wholesale to simplify the budget. I think the message that we're trying to send is that it adds 0.01% of the budget, but it has a massive impact.
Rice told us with just about $1 million from the state, a study from them shows music and arts projects in the UP generate over $3 million for local economies. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services reports a 29% drop in syphilis diagnosis over the past 3 years. The department highlighted progress made through partnerships and public health efforts, but stressed concern especially for congenital syphilis. Michigan has averted 71% of congenital syphilis cases, surpassing the national average. Success is credited to expanded testing, treatment, education, and innovative strategies. However, congenital syphilis cases have risen 38% since 2021, with 55 to 60 births expected annually. For more information, visit michigan.gov/HIV-STI. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from deporting potentially hundreds of unaccompanied Guatemalan children after learning many of them were already aboard planes preparing to leave the United States. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack with the latest.
Their attorneys arguing the administration violated their rights to due process and ignored protections for minors who crossed the border alone.
It's just heartbreaking, and it defies any reason or logic, the cruelty of the most powerful, the richest country in the world, going after a 7-year-old and preventing him from even talking to a judge about his immigration case.
A federal judge stepped in on Sunday afternoon, grounding the flights and ordering the government to stop any effort to transfer, repatriate, remove, or otherwise facilitate the transport of those children.
Imagine the position of the children inside those planes today. While we were arguing over the government's practices in court, the children were sitting in a plane at the Harlingen Airport or El Paso Airport for hours, not knowing what's going to happen or why or where they are going or when they're going to be let go. is just horrendous.
The Trump administration insisting it was acting at Guatemala's request to reunite those minors with their parents. But the judge, skeptical, saying conflicting narratives from both sides leave it unclear if those children could face harm upon their return. The ruling comes just 2 days after a different federal judge blocked the administration's expanded use of expedited removal, calling the practice of detaining and deporting immigrants with little or no due process unlawful. In Alabama, Republican Congressman Barry Moore was heckled after declaring non-citizens are not protected by due process.
So due process for a citizen and a non-citizen are different.
False. False. Lies.
The president has been ramping up on his immigration crackdown. Officials telling ABC News the administration plans to surge immigration enforcement operations in Chicago as early as this week. The city's mayor pushing back.
We will not have our police officers, who are working hard every single day to drive down crime, deputized to do traffic stops and checkpoints for the president.
Mass deportations were a key campaign promise of the president, and he is now planning on sending federal law enforcement, sometimes supported by the National Guard, to largely Democratic-run states and cities. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
This Labor Day weekend was filled with the sounds of antique engines roaring, giggles from the next generation of farmers, and lots of grease at the UP State Fairgrounds. 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of the UP Gas and Steam Engine Show. The grounds celebrated with their annual traditions of revving up their tractors and parading them through the bends and turns of the State Fairgrounds. My UP News even caught up with a local tractor expert for our very own personal tour to share with you.
I'm Chloe. This one is my Maggie Ferguson 7. My dad originally got it, and then I helped him restore it. And some tractors are like different because they're handmade and restored. And we have really cool engines and tractors that are painted. Some are really old. And this is an old one. This is the only type of tractor where you can actually open it up and see inside the engine.
You know how to do that?
From like right here though, but it's oily.
Oh, it's oily?
Yeah, like right here is where the engine is in.
Not only is the show built for all gearheads alike, there's also a gigantic antique market stashed in the middle of the tractor and engine displays. You could stay up to date on more events and even some pictures from this year on their website, upsteamandgasengine.org. We have more My UP Mornings coming up, including a check of the forecast to help you plan your day, plus a look at our 906 Weather Watchers photos.
You're watching My UP Mornings with Rebecca Bartlemy.
Welcome back to My UP Mornings. Many people after the long holiday weekend, I'm sure, will be hitting the road today. So just some things to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and if you were vacationing here from, I'm going to say Wisconsin, because if you're going back to Lower Michigan, you're going to have to wait until 12:30, 1 o'clock to get back across the bridge. So I'm just going to assume if you have an early morning trip this morning back into Wisconsin, you may be dealing with some fog, and that's where we do have 3-mile visibility for Iron Mountain, down to a mile visibility at Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, and a 1.5 mile visibility for Ironwood. And if you're traveling around the eastern UP early on this morning, we're down to 0.3 mile visibility for Newberry. So slow it down and use your low beam headlights and your fog lights if you do encounter any fog this morning. But Mackinac Island for the bridge walk, clear visibility. Same for Marquette, Surrey, Gwinn, and also in Houghton. Well, let's check out some 906 Weather Watcher photos here. I took this photo, but I gotta give a shout out to my friend Jeff Kaufman here of Big Bay. Was out at his place, and you can see here that is just a gorgeous view of Lake Independence here. Yes. And you can see a little bit of a chop out there on Lake Independence, but just a beautiful day out there. A little bit of some clouds there off in the distance, but no Canadian wildfire smoke. It was just a gorgeous Saturday evening to be out there. Thanks Jim and Jeff for having me out there this weekend, and just a beautiful photo there around the Big Bay area. And then we have Mark Janowski here. A little bit of a technical glitch here with the name title here, but Mark Janowski, Marquette, but this isn't a technical glitch here. He was having a bonfire east of Marquette there on the beach, and this is looking back towards the city of Marquette, all lit up there. Beautiful sky. Beautiful. Thank you, Mark, for sending that photo in. If you'd like to join our 906 Weather Watcher photo group on Facebook, we're almost at 2,000 members.
Wow, yeah, it's
so
growing.
Help us get there. If you'd like to join and show off photos like this during My UP News, we'd love to have them, so feel free to join, and we'd love to show off your weather photos and or your nature photos. All right.